Welcome back to the deep dive. This is going to be one of our most fascinating and maybe most philosophical deep dives yet.
I think so, yeah.
Usually, and you send us this stack of sources, a veritable mountain of articles, reports, contradictory footnotes.
Right, we love that. We usually prepare to, sift through all that noise to find the signal.
But today,
Yeah,
today the signal is the source material.
exactly. We got a single, highly suggestive title. It's more of an assertion, really, and it forces us to analyze not the facts, but the structural idea behind them.
That's right. The source is just the title itself, promising this shortcut to understanding high-level achievement in the digital space. The words are simply the Cenat success formula.
It's instantly compelling. It's not a biography. It's a blueprint. Our mission here is to analyze what the very existence of a formula implies about modern success in, say, the content economy.
Yeah.
We're trying to dissect the ambition of codifying human achievement itself.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We aren't here to become streamers, obviously, but for you, the learner, this is key. How can just recognizing this concept that a formula exists change how you view high-level achievement?
And allow you to see those structural patterns faster in your own field.
Right, that's our goal today. Pattern recognition, using the concept of a formula as our lens.
If we can reverse engineer the concept, we unlock a really powerful way of analyzing any high-performance endeavor.
Let's start right there then, with the weight of that one word, formula. When you see it applied to something like content creation, which has, historically been seen as this creative, subjective, almost magical process, it suggests an immediate shift.
Oh, absolutely. A shift from art to methodology.
The methodology.
It's a move toward engineering. A formula insists on measurable inputs leading to, well, predictable outputs. It effectively strips away chance and replaces it with optimization.
So the moment you use that word, you're claiming success is quantifiable.
And critically replicable, at least in theory.
Okay, so if we accept that premise, we have to define the variables. Because success in streaming isn't just raw personality. If you were looking at the high-level architecture of this system, what fundamental components have to be there?
Well, the components have to be measurable and controllable. We have to move past a vague idea like be funny and get into the structural mechanics.
Right.
So we'd be looking for a highly defined content scheduling rhythm. That's the temporal variable. We need defined audience engagement metrics.
Yeah.
Moving beyond just concurrent views to things like retention rates, chat participation density.
Wait, chat participation density?
Yeah, and maybe the average number of minutes watched per user. It gets granular.
So we're talking about leading and lagging indicators here. The charisma might be a necessary input, but the leading indicators are the structural bits.
Exactly. The technical production value, the consistency of the schedule, and the platform strategy.
Platform strategy.
Oh, that strategy is crucial. A formula has to dictate which platform handles the short-form viral loops, your TikTok or Shorts, and which one is responsible for deep monetization and long-form viewership.
For your YouTube, yeah.
And if you miss the integration of those variables, the whole formula it fails.
That systemization sounds exhausting, but also incredibly useful for a learner. It takes the perceived chaos of that environment and just imposes this industrial structure on it.
Yes.
It basically says, talent is the ignition, but the formula is the engine that provides sustained dominance.
And that is why this distinction is so vital. If we buy into the formula, we are saying success is not purely dependent on innate talent or luck. It's about a scalable process.
But doesn't this run the risk of becoming too generic? I mean, every business success story has good product and good execution. What's unique about analyzing this specific formula?
What's fascinating here is that the creator economy has a level of transparency that, traditional businesses often lack. The metrics are public, the content is public.
And failures are very public.
Very public. This gives us an extraordinary data set to analyze the process that weaponizes the talent. And this immediately raises a huge question. Is the success formula descriptive, just explaining what happened after the fact, or is it prescriptive?
A guide for others to follow.
Exactly. A true, repeatable guide.
That is the $100 million question, isn't it? If it's prescriptive, it's the ultimate shortcut. It's the scaffolding that bypasses years of trial and error.
But if it's just descriptive,
then it's just a very detailed history lesson.
And that distinction matters hugely for you, the listener. A descriptive formula is a comfort. It confirms success makes sense after the fact. A prescriptive formula is a challenge. It demands you adapt and execute right now in the present.
Now let's turn to the subject that validates this whole conversation. Cenat. If we assume the formula exists, the name is the anchor. It's what grounds the theory.
Exactly. When we talk about Cenat, we're not just talking about a person. We are treating the name as a massively successful data point in contemporary digital media.
He's the proof.
He's the proof that this scale of sustained digital engagement is achievable, and that the system supporting him functions under, well, extreme stress.
And the scale is what warrants the codification, right?
Right.
We're looking at someone who achieved massive viewership records, cultural saturation that goes way beyond traditional streaming.
Incredible velocity and virality.
Yeah.
He is the output Y in the formula.
Yeah.
He's the stress test for the entire system.
Right.
When a success is this massive and this sustained, it forces analysts to stop calling it luck and start calling it an optimized system.
Yeah.
The name provides the outcome that says, this process is worth studying.
Reverse engineering and maybe even replicating.
Yeah.
But okay, if the process is so visible and the outcome is so validated, why isn't the entire streaming market just flooded with equal competitors? This is the critical paradox. If we can codify success into inputs and outputs, why are high achievers still such outliers?
This is where we need to introduce the nuance. The formula details what needs to be done, the schedule, the metrics, the production quality. But it doesn't solve the most significant limiting factor,
Which is?
which we call the execution tax.
The execution tax. Okay, let's spend some time defining that. It sounds like the hidden cost of turning theory into world-class performance.
It is. It's the brutal reality of operational density and psychological endurance. Think of the difference between, say, knowing the theory of rapid prototyping and software and actually managing a massive 24/7 team pushing continuous updates under global scrutiny.
Oh, gotcha.
The formula tells you to be consistent, but the execution tax demands you maintain peak enthusiasm, manage a huge logistical team editors, marketers, and endure the psychological burn rate of living your life perpetually on camera.
So the formula is the recipe, but the execution tax is the discipline and resources required to run a 3-star Michelin kitchen nonstop.
A perfect analogy. Everyone can read the ingredients, but very, very few have the capacity to maintain that required output.
The human element becomes the bottleneck.
It always does.
Yeah.
The formula is necessary, but it is deeply insufficient on its own. And for the learner, this is a crucial insight. When studying success in any field, don't just study the steps, the formula. Study the resource drain and the endurance required to execute those steps consistently.
I wonder, though, if relying too much on a codified formula actually becomes a problem. Doesn't the very act of following a process risk stifling the originality or the genuine human spark that made the creator successful in the first place?
That's a critical challenge to the entire concept. The best formulas have built-in mechanisms for iteration, which is where that descriptive versus prescriptive distinction comes back.
Ah.
If the formula is too rigid, purely descriptive of the past, it guarantees irrelevance, because the platforms are always shifting.
So a truly successful formula has to be prescriptive, but also adaptive. It has to anticipate platform changes, audience fatigue, cultural shifts.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a static mathematical equation, it's an optimization engine.
It has to be. The prescriptive aspect requires forecasting the environment. For example, if a major platform suddenly deprioritizes live content for short-form video, a truly prescriptive formula dictates an immediate pivot in resources.
Even if the old metrics are still working in the short term.
Especially then. The ability to endure that execution tax has to include the ability to endure change.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture of platform dependency, I mean, how much of this success is based on universal principles like compelling storytelling, high energy, and how much is just fragile, relying solely on the specific, often hidden mechanics of a Twitch or YouTube algorithm?
Look, a huge portion of the operational success is platform-specific. If Twitch changes its discovery mechanism overnight, the inputs that worked yesterday might suddenly yield zero output today.
Wow.
This means that part of the formula isn't about being charismatic. It's about being technically sophisticated enough to understand the ecosystem's rules and exploit its current physics.
So true understanding for the learner isn't just knowing the codified steps. It's understanding the context, the specific ecosystem, the cultural timing, and most importantly, the execution tax required to run that high-performance system.
Yes, success involves hitting the system with the optimized input at the exact moment the system is most receptive. And that window of receptivity, it closes fast in the digital world.
The formula is about maximizing the opportunity during that narrow window.
That's it.
Let's bring this full circle now. The very concept of the Cenat success formula, brief as our source material is, gives us this powerful framework for analyzing high achievement in any domain.
It really does.
It forces us to start viewing high performers as these magical anomalies and start seeing them as the highly refined result of effective, measurable, and repeatable systems.
And this framework is universally applicable, whether you're analyzing a disruptive startup's hypergrowth or studying the path of an academic genius. The goal is pattern recognition. You have to look for the underlying systems, the variables, the processes, the formula they apply consistently.
So we'd encourage you to define your own inputs. If you were reverse engineering the success of the highest performer in your professional area, finance, engineering, academia, whatever, what are the non-negotiables?
What are the key structural inputs?
Right. The inputs that, when done correctly and consistently, lead to guaranteed scalable output in your field.
You have to define your variables and then identify the cost of execution. The conceptual template this idea provides lets us reverse engineer high achievement everywhere. It insists that systems, not solely destiny, drive results.
And that gives you actionable insight.
It does.
So we took a single powerful title and extracted valuable structural insights for rapid knowledge acquisition. The blueprint is available, but the execution, that's where the true distinction lies.
What's fascinating to me is that the formula isn't just about the steps you take now. It's about the ability to adapt those steps, to iterate, and to manage the crushing psychological weight of continuous high performance as the entire environment evolves around you.
So, for you, the learner, here is our final provocative thought to chew on this week. If a codified formula requires enduring a massive execution tax in the entertainment space, what critical, non-obvious factors in your field of expertise?
Things like highly specific risk management protocols or navigating specialized internal network effects.
Exactly. What factors would need to be included to truly codify a success formula for that domain? Think about what your bottleneck for execution would be.
Define your inputs, calculate your tax, and define your success.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.